Fasten your seatbelts tonight. Buckle up. It's going to be one to remember on Sportswire Radio. And trust me, even though we're not here on time, we'll make up for it here and some. Because our guest, he calls himself the GOAT of BYW. He calls himself Backyard Wrestling Royalty. After the historic BTW Season 6, Night 2, November to Remember opening match, is he still the GOAT of BYW after he said the words, "I quit"? We'll most certainly talk about that. We'll also talk about what's next, because it seems to me that our guest signed the first ever multi-year contract in BYW history. We're going to certainly talk about that. We're going to talk about what's next in BTW. We're going to talk about how did he feel about the season overall. We're going to most certainly bring up that guy, RJS. I'm sure RTG will come up, and a slew of your other favorites, and maybe even a surprise or two. Yeah, a surprise that I don't even know about, and our guest doesn't even know about, which means you watching and listening this wherever you are, you don't know what the surprise is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are after all in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where figuratively and literally all wrestling matters. And most certainly the company, BTW, and our guest helped build this All Wrestling Matters platform, which has over 1,300 plus subscribers. I got a long way to get to BTW's number, but I'll certainly take how many I've got. Our guest here needs no further introduction, but because he's waiting for it, he's smiling. I hope he's not blushing, because he will certainly really dampen the mood a little bit with that. You're waiting for it, and I'm waiting for it, and we are going to close the weekend out here in style, because last I checked, Taylor Swift's on NBC, and the Chiefs-Chargers game, and that means now we can get this show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give our guest that championship-like introduction here on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. A man that has headlined several BYW Mania shows. A man that was this season the BTW Television and Continental Champion. And he is still the reigning, defending BYW Interpromotional Champion. His name is, simply put, the of BYW Backyard Wrestling Royalty, Champ, how are we doing?
We are doing absolutely fantastic on this Sunday night, for absolutely sure. That is.
Well, hopefully my voice will still be doing well, but this will definitely be a memorable one. I have no doubt. There is certainly a lot to get into. I certainly want to talk about last week, a match that everybody is still talking about. It is closing in on 1,000 views. We're going to have a whole bunch of plugs, I'm sure, we'll get into here, but let me start off here at the top. Let's talk about it generally. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where all wrestling matters, which most certainly you and BTW helped build here on Sportswire Radio. Comatose, the GOAT of BYW. How did you feel overall this season in BTW?
Honestly,
Yeah.
this was definitely probably the best season in BYW that I've had in my entire career for sure. I have had a blast. I've had a ton of fun this season running through the roster and running through all the legends that are of course in BTW, but not only that, but getting camaraderie and just a new family and honestly finding a new home because it's been a long time since I've been actually signed to any companies, and I think it's about time that I start to plant my roots a little bit and make a name for myself somewhere for sure. These guys are great people, absolutely, and I would do it 10 times over again.
It's funny you said some of those things, and obviously these are things that, we can certainly confirm here on this platform. But how does then this experience compare to when you were previously in the yard? Now that you've got the full year, I know you came here almost 6 months ago. We were getting into the whole situation about you coming to BTW, but you've been away in the yard. You've been to other places. You've headlined some shows. You at RJS certainly went back and forth with that. But so how does this experience here in BTW compare to previous experiences you had in BYW?
Much healthier, I would definitely say for sure. Because my previous experiences, of course, it's a running narrative that you can hear all over the yard that when you go to certain places or deal with certain people, that you have a lot of egos and you have a lot of
Politics, yeah.
politics and stuff like that getting in the way, making it unfun and making it unfair for competition. But this place is family oriented through and through, and not only that, but they will talk to you about anything, and you could never ask for anything better in the yard than that for sure. And for everybody watching this stream right now or listening at home on any other platform, this for sure is an example that is set in stone in the yard from here on out forever in BYW's history, that you need to not only go into this without an ego, but you need to listen to the people around you and not just think that you know everything and make it hard on everybody, because
Yeah.
this right here this right here is what's going to make this community a better place again.
Well, I think that there's no question that we're on the road to it. I think that there's been a lot of great things that have actually happened the last several months. I think BTW is a huge part of that, and I think I've noticed it the last few weeks. I think that we're actually doing a lot better. I think that
Yeah,
I see it here
absolutely.
on the platform, and I'm glad you said some of those things because I can definitely vouch for it. The small business mom and pop type of company that BTW has to offer, some great talent that are here. I'm sure we'll talk about those pageantries later on, but I have to ask you before we get in to that match and certainly dive into it because I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm going to get to some plugs. I'm going to shout some people out. But do you feel after everything you've went through, and especially after last week, are you still the GOAT of BYW?
Okay, so, oh man,
You knew this was coming, by the way.
I knew it was coming, and I have been waiting for this question since that match
Okay.
because I knew it was. Of course, this is going to be a huge topic after RJS gets his bite back on me. To be fair, I mean, tit for tat. I humiliated him one way; he humiliates me another way, and I can't sit here and deny anything. I can't deny his talent. I can't deny what he has become in the yard and who he has cemented himself to be in the yard for sure. And whether he's been on a little slope or not, that doesn't change that RJS is truly a backyard wrestling legend.
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely. This is
But
we've certainly talked about that quite
yeah,
a bit.
and I'm gonna give him his flowers right here, of course, because I don't do that very often. So
You don't.
RJS, put this on your Instagram story because it's not gonna happen again. Maybe.
Well, you guys certainly, I mean, I will say the video packages you guys had in terms of the hype for both matches, it was definitely creative. It was, when I look back this year, I think it was you and him and Soldier GP and another individual that his name is Justin Parsley. I think you in your feud with Ryan and those two certainly had the most personal feuds. But I think yours, certainly was on a different level. But I mean, what you guys did creatively though was definitely interesting. But I could tell you guys weren't singing "Kumbaya" to each other.
Definitely not for sure. There's still more to this story for sure,
Hmm.
which is a lot of the reason why I have signed an extended deal to BTW, because I'm not finished with my story by any means. And referring to your question on if I am still the GOAT of
Yes, sir.
BYW in my mind, yes, I am. However,
Okay.
if you thought this season was something, just wait until you see what I do next season.
Well, don't say anything about next season yet. Don't say anything about that because there's plenty of things there that I'm
I
gonna touch
understand, but that's all
on.
I'm gonna say.
All right.
That's
Well,
all I'll
I
say.
don't
I
want
still
you to
have a
do
lot to
anything just
prove,
yet.
and there is more to see for sure. I have a lot to prove as of this season. I am unproven yet, but of course, the best stories never end in a short, brief period of time.
No,
They're
I think that no, I think that's a point that is well taken, and I do want to touch upon it real quick. I've put some plugs up. I know there's some people here in the chat. I'm going to plug their pages so everybody can support each other. We'll get into that
yeah.
in a little while, but I do want to touch upon it. The 3-year contract. Most people, if I get invited next week back to the Fed I go to, if I get maybe a shot to work a premium live show, if I get maybe a couple of months to be invited to continue to work with the roster, or maybe I get an invite just to the Federation alone, that's a big deal. But yet you, Comatose, get a 3-year contract, and that's unheard of. There's a lot of people that I've seen in the yard. Obviously, some of those names are certainly legends, and Jack Delta and James Taylor and Anthony Steele, who was here yesterday and the day before, and other names out
Hello.
there. It's a long list of names I've seen in the backyard, even the underground wrestling circuit. My old friend Jimmy Controversy, my friends over in the UK. I'm trying to think. I don't even know if they've gotten 3-year contracts, but yet here you are, Comatose, getting what seems to me a first of any BYW, certainly, or in a 3-year contract. And how does that feel then to get maybe arguably the longest contract of any BYW, or is, I think, in history?
It feels good because of course,
It better
everybody
feel
would.
good. You're a
Yeah, it
first. It
definitely
better
feels
feel
good.
good.
It definitely feels good, and I'll
Hopefully it
explain
feels
why.
better than your Chicago Bears right now.
Oh, what? Oh man, don't do that. Yeah, they're not doing too good. But as
Yeah,
for me, I would say that that is a phenomenal feeling. Of course, everybody, even outside of the backyard wrestling scene, outside of anything at all, anybody ever wants is stability in
absolutely.
life.
100%. 100%.
And so to be able to get stability in something that I have a passion for and that I am truly aiming for the stars for is more than you can ever ask for. I am over the moon right now.
Well, you
with
should be over the moon because it's
yeah.
really a first. I mean, this is like, I'm trying to think. And again, I mentioned and I meant, Navon McDonald and, Chase Wakefield, Silas Walker, and, Aaron Blaze and James Taylor, Anthony Steele, D'Angelo LaFlame. I mean, there's Brandon Costelli, all these guys in BYW that have been in and out of BYW over the past several years. I even think back to the GBYW end days and Rad Dad, and I think about, Skrilla, who was in BYW, who I just saw in MLW. And I think about names all over from the GBYWN days. Sick Rick, Marcus Senafonte, all those legends. Even some guy, Will Ospreay. Was in the GBYWN, and he didn't get a 3-year contract in BYW. I mean, if Will Ospreay did not get a 3-year contract in BYW, but yet you got one, Comatose. Think about that for a second.
That's information I did not know. That's actually
well, that's why you get that here on Sportzwire. This is the only platform we talk about it all. We cover promo wrestling. Shout out to all my promo wrestling people. We got the underground, the death match, the independents, the hardcore. You name it, British wrestling. You name it, ground wrestling, trampoline. It's all Wrestling Matters. You name it, it's here. So you know that when you get it here, it's the only platform, the only one.
That's definitely a fact, and I'm almost speechless hearing that information, honestly, because Will Ospreay might be the best wrestler in the world right now, currently.
He didn't get a 3-year contract in the GBYW. And Skrilla right now, who's been battling, he just battled Brian Pillman's son not too long ago. He didn't get a 3-year deal in the GBYW. Rad Dad right now, who's the GTS legendary YouTube champion, he didn't get a 3-year deal in BYW. Sick Rick didn't get it. Marcus Senafonte. I mean, we could keep going. How about this guy, Matt DeMorris? He didn't get it. I mean, we could keep going down the list. How about other guy? How about this guy, James Fury? You heard of James Fury, I'm sure.
I absolutely have.
And James Fury, by the way, I don't know if you know this, he was on MLW TV a couple weeks ago. He didn't get a 3-year deal anywhere in BYW. He was just on MLW TV. And he didn't get that 3-year deal that you just got, sir, in BTW.
Yes, sir. That is absolutely true. And I am beyond honored. I am very, very speechless for the fact that they are putting their faith in me, and I'm going to put it full forth. And everything that you are going to see that happen this season is going to be so much better going forward, because I'm going to put my heart and my soul into it.
Yeah.
And if you thought that I was ruthless this season, you're going to see a whole different side of me next season. And I promise that.
Whole different side?
Yes. This year
was ruthless. You mean, what are you trying to tell us here?
Because now I have something to prove. Because I, of course, came in here having to prove myself after a 4-year absence. But now, this season has gained traction. And in the rumblings, I've heard RTG has been on the phone. And if RTG has been on the phone like he was last season to be able to get the people he got this season, then I do need to be on my game. Because there are other people out there in the yard that could have equally as historic seasons. And there are other people out there in the yard that could come for the championship that I have brought into the light, that would be the Interpromotional Championship. Which, by the way, to say real quick, the first challenger, if I can real quick.
You can say anything you want here.
Okay. In the off season, in the off season is going to be BES.
Whoa!
Me versus BES 2 for the Interpromotional Championship, January 27th.
January 27th, you and the coolest guy in the yard, BES, a man that's got some unfinished business with you. And last I checked, I think he's the BCF World Champion.
Absolutely. We're going to go one-on-one for the Interpromotional Championship, and I'm laying it down on the line because he is the only person this entire season that I have had troubles with. And he is honestly, truly the person this season that is making me hesitate on being so cocky on calling myself the best in the yard truly right now. And I know that, of course, is coming fresh off a loss to RJS. But let me remind everybody that I do have a win on RJS.
You do. You do.
I have something to prove against BES.
You do have something to prove against him, because the family has certainly been giving you some troubles this year. The family did give you troubles.
Absolutely. And I'm not I'm not vengeful to look for anything against RTG again. I think I might just let him ride off into the
Well, you
sunset
should
because
really be. No, you should be even more upset with him tonight because your Chicago Bears got bludgeoned from his San Francisco 49ers. I mean, you should really be even more upset at RTG.
you want to know why I can't?
Why? You want
Because
to know
my
the drift.
mom is a San Francisco fan.
Oh, well then, scratch that. Never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, so I do root for San Francisco. I just don't root for them against my Bears.
Okay, well, if it makes you feel good, when I was growing up in Brooklyn, one of my prized birthday gifts one year was a San Francisco 49ers football. It was actually, I think I've told this story before. I got a San Francisco 49ers football. My mother bought it from J.C. Penney. It was a big deal at the time. People would order gifts from. This had to have been in the late 90s, right at the end of like the Steve Young era. So it was a prized possession of mine. So that was definitely a great gift, but we'll certainly leave the football talk out. But I do have a lot of people that want to talk with you, and I want to get to the match. I have some plugs. I did a couple things here first. I'm going to plug a lot of people tonight, but I have a new way I'm plugging things. First of all, Comatose has a YouTube channel. He's closing on 600 subs. Do me a favor. Comatose, BYW GOAT. You want to tell him he's a BYW GOAT? It's here, but also on his YouTube channel. Hit a sub for him. Also, BTW 8130. I've basically made it so easy now because after last night, I just kept doing the same thing. It seemed like it was working for people. And I got a big crowd here tonight. BTW 8136. They have 3,000 plus subscribers. Let's get them to another 5 or 6. And if you're here in the chat right now, today is your lucky day because I'm going to put your YouTube link here in the description in a little while. So you hang out with me, you watch the match. I'm going to take care because, it is kind of the holiday seasons, the holiday spirit, and people know I take care of my people, whether it's you want me to buy a shirt for you, you need a few dollars, whatever it is. I'm going to plug your YouTube page because you got me to 1,300 plus subscribers. Now I'm going to take care of you. So we're going to take care of that in a little while. Plus, I got even a couple of surprises tonight that I'm sure will certainly shake things up here in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. So you just stay tuned. Don't touch that dial because, you ain't watching Taylor Swift right now because she's not on NBC. You're not doing that. So forget about the Chiefs and the Chargers. Well, it's actually a good game, but stay here with us on Sportswire. But let's get to the match. I want to talk about it. It's definitely a lot to go into. So I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Give me 2 seconds with that. I'm going to go and leave out the intros, you and him going back and forth because it's a long match. So I'm going to go right to the jugular here. Hang on tight. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to take care of that. And I'm going to go like this. I think we can see it now. We can see it. Yep, we can. And you're coming out here and tell us what's going on through your mind right now.
Honestly, what's going on through my mind right here is just, it's a whole lot of cocky thoughts, in all honesty, because, of course, me and RJS have already gone toe-to-toe, and we all know how that went. I dropped him on his neck.
We were here about almost 2 months.
Of chairs.
About 2 months ago. Yep, 2 months ago we spoke about that.
Absolutely, for sure. So in this match, I was going in with the highest of high hopes, but at the same time, I had fear. I will say I did have fear.
Why did you have fear? You already beat him before.
I did beat him before, but I have never in my life competed in an I Quit match. This was my very first I Quit match I have ever competed in. And I did underestimate the brutality of the I Quit match just because my specialty is street fights. But the difference between a street fight and an I Quit match is you can knock somebody out in a street fight and win that match. If you knock somebody out in an I Quit match, you're not going to be able to win because the entire goal of the match is to make the other man say, I quit. And he took it to me this match quite a few times. As you can see, we're going back and forth with the submissions right here. He had me in a headlock. I have him right now in a cross-legged headlock with an armbar mix. I kind of went innovative on it. And now he's going for my calf right here, kind of going for an innovative calf hold. As, of course, he's going to transition into another submission, which this one is his specialty, the
Yep.
ankle lock.
He did this a
Which,
few times throughout the match, by the way.
absolutely. This is, of course, from his inspiration. That would be
Kurt
Kurt
Angle.
Angle.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it is no joke for sure. This move right here, I highly underestimated just because it's so simple. But boy, the simplicity of the move is definitely
So why would you be? I'm fascinated, Comatose. You're Mr. Confidence. You're Mr. I want to talk with the best of everybody. I'm the GOAT. You know, you came on here a month and a half ago and talking about this run. Everything was kind of falling into your lap to be the GOAT of BYW. And yet you're telling me that you were kind of scared going into this match, and especially the back and forth you and RJS had the last, I guess, 3 months or so. You mean to tell me I don't buy it, Comatose? I know you now
I
for a while.
wasn't scared of RJS. Absolutely not. I was just scared of what I was going to have to do in unfamiliar territory because, of course, this is only my first series. This is my first season here.
Right.
So there is some nerves there, but I'm not really nervous at this point with
But
that
you've
happening.
headlined
Yeah,
BYW's major
and that's
shows
what I'm
before.
saying. At this point,
Yeah.
that's at the very bottom of the list. But this
Gotcha.
stipulation, I will say, I did some homework on the stipulation, and I've seen what it can do to people's careers after they wrestled the match. And I was planning on signing this 3-year deal. Spoiler alert for everybody. It's not really a spoiler, but now that we're at the end of the season, I'll just let everybody know.
Yeah.
I have been planning on signing this deal for a while. I got offered it quite a while ago, and I've been pondering on it, but I made my decision quite a bit ago. But after this match, it what put the fear in me is how much longer can I go and still achieve my dream, my ultimate goal? Because of course I do want to be the greatest backyard wrestler of all time, but who wants to
Yeah.
stop at backyard wrestling?
No, you shouldn't limit yourself. I mean, listen, I say it all the time. This is the only platform where everybody blends in together. We have promo wrestlers here. We have pro wrestlers here. We have UK British wrestlers here. We have indie wrestlers, hardcore guys, underground guys, deathmatch wrestlers. We have guys on the trampoline, the ground. I mean, we have it all. So why not be the GOAT of everything? I mean, what's stopping?
Exactly.
Sky's the limit. But I mean, you've wrestled RJS and beat him weeks prior to this. That had to still be a feather in your cap that you could go out and have the upper hand. No?
It definitely was for sure. It definitely was for sure. But I do have he's definitely got a lot more vicious this time for sure, and
Well, he needed this. Listen, RT,
he
you
did
had
need it.
to. You,
He
I
did
know
need
you
it.
weren't here, but RTG and I were talking about this. You hit your spear, but he needed this. And last year he was in the same predicament. He needed a win here. This season was not the season that he had hoped for. This was kind
Yes,
of his Super Bowl almost. This was his World Series. This was his NBA
exactly.
final.
Which is why I had fear going into this because I knew he was going to be at the absolute top of his game because, of course, I did beat him a couple months ago, but
Yep.
experience is everything. And so now he knows me. And so now not only do I need to be at my A game, but I need to pull out things that I did not show him in that last match. I need to pull out things that I haven't pulled out for years. And I'm not even just talking about after this 4-year absence. I'm talking about even 6 years. I'm from companies from like Georgia that I haven't pulled out those moves like the sliced bread. I haven't pulled out that move in quite a long
I
time.
think it was taken by such notice that I think even our esteemed announcer here didn't even know what it was called.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't know what it was called at all because in all actuality, the thing of the matter is not a whole lot of people actually use that move through any of the circuits, whether it's backyard wrestling, underground, or pro.
Yeah.
That's just a move that I saw in a little match on, I believe it was like Raw. It was like a little in between match, and
Okay.
I saw one of the wrestlers use it, and that's a move that I've adopted ever since.
That's
I
fascinating. Very
I just
fascinating.
stopped using it because, of course, I've gotten heavier and I didn't know if I still had the athleticism to still do it. But I pulled it out. I pulled it out a couple times this season, and I pulled it out a couple times this match because I definitely needed to pull out all the stops to be able to beat RJS, who had a grudge against me, who had a vendetta against a terrible 2 years that he's had in the past,
I
getting
mean,
beaten.
really, you think about his 2 years in that this is a guy that's defeated Jack Delta. This is a guy that's defeated Navon McDonald. These are names that are like legit royalty. I don't care what circuit, what anything they are. These are guys that like they're living legends. And Mr. Delta's been here, a countless times. And Mr. McDonald, I've spoken to, but he's a very hard man to catch. Catch me if you can. But that's a
Yeah,
different show for a different time because he hasn't been here. But the point is that this man, RJS, he's also he's trained. He is a trained wrestler. He is not
absolutely.
some just guy that goes out there and, yeah, I'm on a trampoline. Yeah, I went out there and I'm bouncing around. No, he's no joke. To quote Rakim, I ain't no joke. I mean, that's basically what RJS is. And he had, I think, a lot on the line because his career speaks for itself. But these last 2 years, I mean, it's been miserable for him.
It has been. It has been absolutely miserable for him, and I can assume that, especially, and I'm not gonna keep taking credit for this, and because of course he's gonna get a little booty hurt that I'm about to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways because it's just facts. I came in after a 4 year absence and basically ran through your entire company except for two people, and you were included in that. And up to this point, you had never beaten me, and I already got a victory over you. And I didn't have anything to prove. I don't have anything to prove against RJS right here at all because I've already proved everything I needed to do with our first encounter that I can absolutely beat RJS. Because let's not forget that before our first match happened, that RJS was underestimating me because I wasn't trained, because I didn't have as much experience as him, because I hadn't been here as long as he had consistently, and I didn't know how backyard wrestling was in today's standards rather.
Right, right.
I was still stuck back in time to him, and he thought that because of that I wouldn't be able to get a win over him or best him in any way, but of course I did, and that definitely got to him for sure.
No question about that. We are here with Comatose, who is the BYW Interpromotional Champion. He is wrestling here RJS in BTW Season 6, Night 2, November to Remember opening match. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. We'll get to you in the chat in about 10 or 15 minutes. Hang on tight. Plus, we have a couple of things, let's just say, stay tuned for. But right now, we're watching Comatose. If you'd like to follow him on YouTube, Comatose BYW GOAT. Do me a favor, go hit a sub for them. BTW 8136. Just do it. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Okay, you said a lot there. You said a mouthful. Do you have any regrets and how personal this feud got between you and RJS?
Um, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any regrets how personal this feud got with RJS quite yet, just because I haven't heard any apologies. Um, I
He
didn't
shook your
start.
hand though, but you shook
He did. He
hands.
did. He did. He did shake my hand, and that's absolutely fine. But that's just him acknowledging the fact that he knows that I am a talent that his company could definitely benefit from. I'm not going to say needs because that's disrespectful. I'm not going to be disrespectful to RJS anymore. I will say that right
No,
here,
you
right
could.
now.
I'm sure if it was other people in your chair yesterday, like the likes of Mr. Anthony Steele or, other individuals that come here, they would have probably said that and they would have had no qualms about saying that. I mean, that wouldn't have been unsurprising, I mean, if you would
It
have
wouldn't have
said
been,
that.
but it wouldn't have been. But I can be humble. I can be very
Okay.
cocky, but I can
Fair.
also be humble
That's a fair line.
because you cannot be a king without, of course, Kings are, of course, incredibly cocky.
I
They
saw
know they're,
Gladiator too. I actually saw some of that firsthand 2 weeks
yes,
ago.
of course. So you see in Gladiator 2, you know exactly how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is.
Being royalty, you can not only be self-centered, you must also think about what reality and truth is
Sure,
and what
sure.
just needs to be said.
How painful was it when he had you there in that ankle lock where your ankle was wrapped around the metal blades there? I mean, I'm not going to put the volume up and how you were screaming, but how painful was it? I have been waiting to ask you that for about 8 days now.
Honest, I thought my leg was gonna snap off.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that you would either they were taking you off via the boot, or you were going to basically be going to an Oregon ER.
Yeah, and of course, you're gonna see that it's not the first time he did it, but
No,
and
no, no.
that's definitely something about that match that still affecting me for sure.
Well, there was a line in the matchroom commentary that both your careers would never be the same. You got this 3-year contract, and certainly it's historic. You got a lot of pressure with that. You know, it was just announced a little while ago that the New York Mets signed this guy, Juan Soto, to a 15-year contract at $765 million. Comatose, you're the Juan Soto now of backyard wrestling. You got a
Okay,
lot of pressure now. You're the Juan Soto of backyard wrestling. So
that's
if you
crazy.
if your career is name, I mean, how are you going to be able to live up to the standards of this 3-year deal that BTW just gave you, sir?
Easily showing them the consistency and showing them exactly what they have needed for the entire time that they have been around, and that is being the outsider that is going to be there for them and set the example for all the other outsiders. Because unfortunately, I'm going to say this right now, as a
Go for it.
person before I came here looking in,
Right.
I saw a whole lot of change happening all the time. I didn't see a whole lot of consistency within the roster. And
Right.
I that is and of course that is because there's bad examples in the yard of people that don't want to follow through with stuff, which of course stuff happens in life,
Yep.
but when it becomes a problem, why even bother at some point?
Yeah, there's
People
there's two sides of the coin. One's the
there's
serious person, and there's then those that do it for fun, and you know how it goes. They show up and they show up, but it's to them, it's
yeah,
not as big a deal if they miss a show and such. I understand.
yeah. Well, and that may be, yeah, that may be the case. I don't know. I just know how difficult it is for these guys. I'll just say that.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Without giving too much up, I'll just say it. I know how difficult it is for these guys. So I'm trying to be that guy that they can rely on. And I want to be that example for everybody else that's coming into here, because these guys are serious and they deserve people that are going to be serious inquiries as well. Like, I
Hmm.
understand, like we were saying, stuff happens, of course, but don't be the guy that calls out last minute, week of. What?
Well, I mean, that's obviously a discussion
Yeah,
for a different time and
yeah.
such. But you guys, like I said, I just don't know how your
That's no
career is going to be
specific
the same.
example. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I understand. Trust me, I'm here every single day. I see a lot of different things out there, but right now, you and him are killing each other.
Yeah,
And
we are. I do believe I actually got a concussion from this match. I'm not gonna lie, and you'll see what
well,
happens.
that was nice to tell us live on the air. I'm sure management and
Yeah.
BTW would have preferred you not to say that on the air.
Yeah, it was that this was a week ago. I was definitely stage 1 concussion because I didn't black out, of course.
Well, we have a wrestler named Blackout as our champion, but that's a
Yeah, that is very
different
true.
different
Uh,
mountain for a different time. But that was
yeah,
certainly a painful neck breaker for good old RJS there.
absolutely. That's a move that I'm gonna try to pull out more in my repertoire as well. That's a move that I actually miss doing. Those are neck breakers are incredibly lethal, especially when you got something to make it even more lethal.
When you look back on your career, and obviously there was a 4-year layoff, well documented. We talked about it at length the first time you were here. You've been here now, I don't know, 5, 6 times by now. when you look back at your career, is RJS the biggest feud of your career?
That is a fantastic question.
Or in prime time?
You know what? I think he has to be.
His name, his legacy, your return, the hostility the two of yous had. I mean, basically, several BTW shows, you guys had to be broken up from each other. You interfered into each other's matches. I mean, there were things said that, I mean, they were uncharacteristic from RJS. And it was certainly pretty memorable what you guys went through. And I know you have main event and headlined a lot of shows in the first run you had in the backyard wrestling circuit, but that's why I asked you that question. Is RJS the biggest feud that you've had in your career?
I think he has to be, absolutely. And I've had big feuds in my career. I have had gone up against people like the likes of Ashton Manson, like the likes of
Yep.
people of Sean. And Ashton Manson, of course, I battled for years over the interpromotional title in IDWC. And then, of course, Sean, I actually we put our careers on the line against each other. So my career could have actually ended a long time ago if I didn't win that match. But none of those ever got this personal. None of those ever got this brutal. And none of those made me think about what I'm going to do next.
Really? So you were reflective then?
I was very reflective for sure because I was overly confident and cocky in those past huge feuds of mine against Ashton and against Sean, of course, because I was young and I was at the top of my athleticism. I could do shit that I could do a lot of shit BS could do, not as perfect, of course, because BS is a
I
fucking
still
alien.
don't think you're jumping off roofs and
No,
jumping off
never.
like
No, I'm
stairs.
not doing that. I'll pull that out maybe once a season. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do that. I'm not gonna do
maybe
that every
once.
other match.
And kids, don't
Like,
try this at home. Don't try this at
yeah,
home. Everybody out there.
definitely not. But this I was definitely more seasoned while I was more wise. I have felt every bit of this feud for sure, and I am still feeling a lot of it. And I don't know how it is for RJS, and I don't know where this feud ranks for him on his personal scale, but I will say this right now for live on air for everybody to hear that has been a fan of me, that has been a protege of mine, that's a predecessor of mine, and
Because
if
you do
people that
have some fans of yours here tonight.
I do.
You do have some here. They're here.
I will say RJS is definitely the most heated, biggest, and best feud that I've ever had in my career.
We're coming toward the end of the match here, but let me ask you one question. Did you watch this match after it aired? Did you wind up going back to watch it, or it was too too much pain? Too much to
Um,
bear?
yeah, this one I actually haven't gone back to. This is one of the I actually do usually watch my matches back over, but
Yeah,
this one
because
I haven't.
I've been in a lot of the BTW chats the last 3 or 4 months, and like more than half the time you are there. Mama Comatose is certainly there every time, and God bless Mama Comatose. But you usually are there, but I didn't see you in last week's chat. Didn't see you around.
Yeah, I was definitely sitting there watching
Yeah.
for sure. But something's definitely changed in me that happened definitely during this match, and I just need to
There's a lot to reflect on.
find some inner peace, some nirvana, and then I know this for sure that when I come back next season, mastering my inner self,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is going to have issues.
Well, you have obviously something that you want to settle a score with. So, with everything that happens here in this match and the outcome, how will you use it to train to be even more ruthless, more successful than you were this past season here in BTW?
Simply, I've got to do what all the greats have done to become the great that they are, and that is to stop talking and to start listening and to start noticing, because the best and the greatest not only are naturally gifted and have earned what they have, but they're students. They study, they learn. And at this point in my career, that's where I'm at. I've already expressed everything that I can do physically, mentally on the mic, and now I need to study these guys more, because this was only my first season. I've been in other companies much longer than BTW. So now I need to learn these guys.
But you had a 4-year layoff. You didn't know what your future was. You went through a lot of things. You moved. You had family issues that went on. And that's not easy to go through, not to make excuses, but you weren't a consistent veteran like RJS was. RJS had endless opportunities to always better himself. RJS had the opportunities and he went up against big name after big name, and he never left. You went through a lot in your life. Anybody in your spot, I mean, who would have done differently? I mean, there's really, to me, the way it all ended, I mean, there was really nothing that you could have did differently considering where you were. I mean, it's nothing short of an outstanding performance, a heroic performance, and considering the whole season and what you went out there and done. I don't know if this match would have been any different, but you know, not to give him as much credit because I know it's going to pain you when I say this, but RTG said that end of the season, and also he was due. RJS was just due, and he is a veteran, and he needed this. He needed this a little bit more than you, and I think that
Oh,
that's
much more.
what it came. Yeah, he just needed this more. He needed this more than you, and this is where it all ends. And you said the words "I quit" out of respect to you, Mr. Comatose. I didn't turn the volume up, but you know,
No, yeah,
obviously
I understand.
this was where this is where it ended. And I do know we have a lot of people that want to talk to you, and we have some other things I'm sure that people will really want to see. Well, you just wait here tonight. But obviously this is how it unfolds, and great match, hell of a competitors. And let me ask you one more thing. You know, BTW goes in the Hall of Fame 22 days from tomorrow. You and RJS on that same screen. Not going to be awkward?
I don't think so,
You don't think so?
because I don't think it's going to be awkward, because I think now we have a mutual respect of who we are.
But he still hasn't apologized.
He still hasn't apologized, and that is fine. As men, people don't need to necessarily make business hard just because of personal feelings. For sure, I'm a
Sounds like
very
an
business.
RTG line there. That sounds like an RTG line. Your
It
old
is an
friend.
RTG line, and that is one thing me and RTG have in common, very, very, very much so. I'm very, very business minded, and that's why I'm here in BTW. I mean, I know
I
how
know, I
successful they
know.
were.
I'm happy you're in
Yeah,
BTW, and I'm
yeah,
happy you connected us to
yeah,
BTW.
yeah.
BTW is
But
a great company. We love that. No,
I'm a
no, no.
but I'm outside of that. I'm a butcher, so the business mind of it, being on the same screen as RJS, I know that's what people want to see. So I can't think of it as being too awkward, because we're
Well, you're a
arguably
butcher. You can't have anything awkward after what you deal
no,
through on a
definitely
day-to-day
not.
basis. My dad's friend was a butcher. I remember he would talk about being a butcher, so I know I actually can picture what your job entails. So
Yeah.
I know what it is. But I tell you what, we're gonna get to the chat. Before I do that, this is what BTW's YouTube channel is. I'm gonna put it up here in the description. I'm gonna put it up here one more time. Then I'm gonna plug everybody. Then I'm gonna get to some people. There's gonna be some things. Just stay tuned. But that's BTW's YouTube channel. Do me a favor, go hit a sub for him. I would appreciate it. So let me go like this here. I'm going to go all the way from the very beginning. because you knew she was first, and that is the one and only Zilla. She was waiting for this, and we're all waiting for this one tonight. And we got a big turn here, out here. My buddy, Mr. J Rod, from our friends over in RPW. Let me give RPW a plug. I don't know if RPW is still here or not, Mr. Good old J Rod himself, but Ruthless Promo Wrestling. Always love seeing what the guys are doing, and love our promo friends. I know our promo friends are getting ready to go in probably about 45 minutes, because our friend Mr. Rocky Texas Red is going to announce the match results for everybody here. Good luck to everybody out there tonight. But J-Rod, here's a plug for you, my man. Go out there and go follow him, and check out his brand and all the great things that he does there. Thank you, my friend. Let's go Sportswire. Appreciate that very much. Got to give.
Oh, whoa. What happened? Well, hello, everyone. Let's go Sportswire.
There we go. You know what? Technology is a funny thing. Let me go back all the way to the beginning here, because my Wi-Fi had a little bit of a connection.
I
Now,
understand.
now I got it here. Now I'm way behind still in comments. Okay. Let's go here. Yep. Hello there to the Duke. I don't know. We lost some of the comments, so I'll try to come back to them. I did have House of Rage Productions, so let me go give a plug to him, because I lost him on the comments. So let me go like this. Let me go like this for Nathaniel Rage. If you're out there, do me a favor. He's trying to get to 105 subs. I got a big crowd here. Do me a favor. Go hit his YouTube page. I'd appreciate it. He's going to be here very soon on Sportswire Radio, and we will come back to some more people. I believe somebody's here from that. Comatose would piss his pants if I walked in there. Would you like to tell us anything that we don't know about here? No? Yes?
If that's who I think that is, that's so funny.
Well, you better tell us. We're live.
I think that's my brother.
Would you want your brother to? I mean,
I
that wasn't on
yeah.
my. I don't think your brother was my bingo card, surprise wise. But if your brother is here, I mean, we say hello.
I don't. Well, my other brother's here, but I don't think that brother's here. That would be crazy. I would piss my pants probably. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, I wouldn't. But that would be amazing. Yeah, I know, awkward. But
Yeah.
no, actually, that would be amazing to see. That'd be great to see you, buddy. And I'm definitely going to be seeing you very, very soon.
Well, I'm going to read off the comments I missed through my phone, because for whatever reason, I can't see the comments from the very beginning. So let me go to everybody. If I missed you, if I missed you, I'm going to go all the way from the very bottom here. Mama Comatose wanted to say hello. We got her. My good buddy, Mr. Abraham Storm, who I think we're going to try to squeeze him on before Christmas, either next week or the following week. Let me give Abraham a nice little plug, because Abraham's out there and he's been always here in almost all the streams. And let me give Abraham a nice little plug on Instagram. So if you're there on Instagram, do me a favor. Go follow Abraham Storm. Follow his company. They're trying to get to 500 followers on Instagram. Go out there, give him a follow. Just do it. Trust me. I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you, Abraham, as always, my man. Kyle Shelby wanted to say hello. He said, "What's up, brother?" He also said, "Hey, Mama Comatose." Also, Abraham was chilling. Brandon Hardcore Hobbs wanted to say hello. Also, Zilla wants to congratulate you on the 3-year contract that you signed.
Thank you.
3 years guaranteed. I think that was from RTG. BYW Blade wanted to say Comatose deserves the 3-year contract. We appreciate that. Want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Rob Ryan, one half of the Wrestling Zero Tag Team Champions. Said congratulations. Also, Abraham said congratulations. The evil angel Judas is in the house. He wanted to say congratulations, well deserved. Also, here, I think we're now caught up. So let me get to some more comments here. Yep, we're caught up. Let's go. Here we go. Yep, got that. There we go. Now we can pop them up. There we go. Now we see it. So thank you for that. There's BYW Blade. You're a very good friend who is usually here in some of the BTW streams. There it goes. There we go. Guaranteed. Definitely guaranteed contract. He said guaranteed, though. Guaranteed. There. Judas, That's not my surprise, but always good to see Judas.
Absolutely.
Also, Kyle Shelby wants to go to BTW. Now, Kyle, if you want to go to BTW, I'm going to make this very easy. Today is considered your lucky day because all I have to do is go like this because BTW's got an Instagram, Colin. If you want to talk to management, that's BTW's info. And I'm even going to make this a lot easier. I'm going to put BTW's Instagram handle in the description. So I took care of that. So if you want to talk to BTW, that's their info. You tell them I sent you. Speaking of people, I got to give a big plug to my buddy, Mr. Silas Walker. Silas Walker's been watching, and I know you definitely know who Silas Walker is. And
Absolutely.
he had a funny line. And let me give Silas a plug now is on quite a run. You want to talk about global? You want to talk about legendary? Well, he's doing both as the DBW global champion. I think he might be on the best run of his entire career. And he's also trying to get to 1,000 subs. So do me a favor right now if you're out there. He's at 811 subs and he's 189 away from 1,000. So I'm going to go like this. Go give him a sub, and then I'm going to go put his YouTube channel up for you because Silas is always telling me I got to do this, I got to do that. So I'm going to do something for you, Silas, and there's his YouTube channel. So if you're here right now, you support me, I'll support you. That's the rule of thumb. Thank you from Nathaniel Rage. We'll put that link up again. Comatose, I can never wake up without an overdose of you.
Oh, hell
You
yeah.
guys know each other? You guys know each other?
I don't know him too well. Absolutely not. But that would be the lyrics to my theme song, and I want to hear that.
Okay. I was like,
I want
okay.
to hear that more as a chant.
Well, speaking of people that are here, Steven Storm said, "Bang bang Niner gang."
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
Mom would
well
love
you're
you.
still. Well, I got this. You're still on the outside looking into the playoff picture still. So got some work to do. Got some work to do in San Fran. But I got nothing really against the 49ers. But RTG wants to remind everybody, Mama Comatose has excellent taste in pro football teams. LOL, RTG. And then Abraham chimed in and said, I'm a 49ers fan. Zilla said she's not a football fan. I'm not a baseball fan. I'm not a soccer fan. I'm not a basketball fan. But she left out that she's not a hockey fan. So I infer she's a hockey fan.
Oh well.
Moving on. I thought I'd cover it. Who cares about Taylor Swift? That's a great question. That is a great question. I don't know who is Taylor Swift, but I know who Comatose is. Oh, and she's not a hockey fan. Come on, Comatose. You can't spell goat without the G, baby. And I don't see a G in your name. Maybe change your name to Goatatos. Then you could maybe say you're the goat then.
That is the most clever line RTG's ever come up with, and I'll give you props.
He's always playing chess. He's always playing chess. Yeah. You know that. You know the drill.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get to the chat here. To tell the truth, I'm surprised you even made it to the match after the stomp on the chair and the go home show. We talked about this actually. We talked about you went through a lot with Blackout, and even to go into that match, that's RTG and I actually we spoke about that at length. So that's a RTG with the usual RTG line. So there you go. Thank you for that. Let me go give some more plugs. House of Rage Productions. Let me take care of Nathaniel because Nathaniel wants to ask you something. So there you go. Give him a sub. Makes me miss when I used to wrestle, watching fellow backyard wrestlers making the backyard wrestling scene amazing as it's always been. And I think it is a very amazing scene. And that's why I will always support the backyard wrestling circuit. And do me a favor, go follow House of Rage Productions. And he's got his own clever promos. And he was actually, by the way, he should defeat in a promo match a backyard wrestler named the Anarchist Gunshot. I'll just leave it at that. I'm sure you've heard the name Anarchist Gunshot. We'll leave it at that. So Nathaniel Rage is probably going to be the rage that Gunshot's going to probably turn his gun into squirt gun, but we'll leave that at that. Follow Nathaniel on YouTube. Hi to the legend and GOAT of BTW, owner of BTW, Continental Champion, and the BT. Boy, you could say that is a mouthful. Let me go to Silas. Have you or you guys had any matches in a ring before? No shade, just curious. Well, that was RJS and Jacob Frost.
Yes, and I know BES has had a little work in the ring as well. I do believe Swift might have had a little bit. I've strictly done yarding. I haven't trampoline is something that I've done for a little tiny bit for
And you've
sure.
been on and you've been on the ground too. You've also been on the
Yeah,
ground.
absolutely. Most
On
of
the
my
ground
career.
as well. Yes, yes. It's a good question though. It's a good question. Also, RJS, there you go. And see, somebody thinks like I do, asking because you guys do well enough that I could see some of you in the ring. Well, stay tuned in a little while. Just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. Trust me. RJS and BES were in Devon McDonald's promotion. Yep. Which I think I mentioned. I love, like, and appreciate the Northwest Society, RTG, Gabriel James, and Blackout. That's covering all of it there. Anybody else do you like, Zilla? Do you like Steven Storm? Do you like the BCF3? Do you like Swift? Do you like Jacob Frost? I mean, I'm just trying to throw some names out there. But there's
Yeah.
Silas's YouTube. You want to hit his YouTube page up. Silas Walker, legendary Silas Walker there. He's at 811 subs now. So thank you. Silas and I are former trampoline guys. Definitely zeros. Kyle is definitely not shading you, and he's definitely not.
Oh,
And I want to, yeah, Kyle's a good man. Kyle's the newest signee of James Taylor's ROEW. So make sure you
oh,
support Kyle.
wonderful.
Yeah, he's definitely going places. You can thank me later, Kyle. But Kyle, you're gonna definitely want to thank me because he's got a YouTube channel, Universal Champions of Action. He's trying to get more subs. Go give him a sub, Universal Champions of Action. There you go. Thank you very much. Happy holidays, everybody. NUW is Navon McDonald's promotion in
Oh
Newburgh,
yeah.
New York, which is in the Hudson Valley, as a matter of fact, which is BES did a couple of training days too, but the trainer wouldn't let him train full time because he wasn't 18. Yeah, Newburgh Underground Wrestling, which I think I just said. There you go. I may have met RJS and BES without knowing it, and that's a good question. I remember been watching NUW Slaughterhouse. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We went there back in the summer of 2022. 22. I stand corrected. So goddamn right we are. We participated in the King of Newburgh tournament. Oh, we're doing great. I'm doing great. And actually,
You're
I'm
wonderful.
doing I'm doing so good that I have to plug my friends at Wrestling Zero because I'm technically the commissioner of Thunder, and I'm not going to reveal what you may see on the YouTube channel. But what I can do, since you're basically supporting me and you're supporting the roster, that's the YouTube channel. I'm going to put it up right in the description. So all you have to do is go right there, hit a sub, and do me a favor. Go out there and just now hit the sub in the chat. So wrestling_0. We're at 119 subs.
Hello.
Where we got you hurt, I think, with the curb stomp. I think. I don't remember. Yeah, well, that covers it. Zilla likes everybody, and Kyle adores Zilla. We could see why. Let's see what else we got. Blade versus Comatose 3 is going to be huge when it happens. The first two are great, but the third is going to be a classic. Now, may I ask, where do you think that could happen, or not at liberty to discuss?
I can discuss it just because it's just speculation, but
Yeah.
it could happen in Oregon
Could.
or it could happen in Michigan.
Michigan. Michigan.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Shelby's in Michigan.
He is.
And
It's very
ROEW is in Michigan, and this guy is in Michigan. James Taylor, the owner of ROEW.
they are, absolutely, and
What a coincidence.
they may or may not be talking to this guy. I don't know.
Well, I'm saying nothing on that because that ain't my.
I don't know. That's just what I've heard from him. I don't know if it's true or not, but
Okay.
I've heard he has interest in coming to that area, and if he does,
Who has interest? You? Oh, Mr. Blade.
Blade.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know about Mr. Blade having interest.
Yeah.
That's
No. Well. Yeah. I would have. I mean, shoot. I'd love to go to ROW.
I was gonna say you in Michigan, huh? Yep. How you doing, Abraham? You banished him. You banished him.
That would be a legend in the yard himself. I can't believe he actually made the stream. That would be Dead Man. That's another.
Oh, Dead Man. I know Dead Man. How you doing, Dead Man? Dead Man is here. He's live, and wow, Dead Man has made it. Dead Man has made it. I mean, he's definitely not a dead man now that he's here.
Absolutely, that's insane. How you doing, buddy? That's another feud that was pretty memorable of mine. I'm glad that you made it, and I did banish him.
And I'm glad he's here now. And if you're here, hit the sub button for me. But thank you, Deadman. Maybe we should get Deadman's side of the story one of these days. No, seriously. Bro's trash. He would piss himself. Uh, we'll move on, right? Move on. Thank you, Abraham. Who else we got here? Thank you. Yep, everybody's saying thank you. Who else we got? Because I did a lot of plugs. Oh, wait a minute. Real Goat in the house. Do you know who this guy is? He calls himself the Real Goat.
I do know who this gentleman right here is. Absolutely, for sure. I have nothing bad to say about Mr. Justin Parsley. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Well,
Well,
he's a sinner.
everyone is a little bit of a sinner.
He's a sinner, though. But this guy's different, though. He's really a sinner. And, he's a guy that, certainly, he's in a photo with Anthony Steele. Me is BTW talent. I mean, Mr. Parsley's, obviously a guy that, he certainly has been very outspoken in many places. Very
That is
outspoken.
that is very, very true. And I will just remind people that sins can come in many different forms.
The 7 deadly sins. And Justin Parsley's definitely a deadly sinner. And Zilla's a big Justin Parsley fan. And you can see that there. All hail. I don't know who we're hailing, though. You're the goat of BYW. You're the goat of BYW.
UIW, and that I am the one that people should be praising, absolutely, especially right now. But I will say that I am very, very happy that my good friend Justin Parsley has made that.
But this guy, though, had his own daughter even turn on him. I mean, I'm not going to ask you about that. That's just, I don't want to go there. But his own daughter turned on him over in the Midwest. I mean, just bizarre stuff. Bizarre stuff.
Bizarre stuff.
Bizarro land. We love and appreciate Justin Parsley. He's also a Hall of Famer like you.
He's a Hall of Famer. I know he's a multiple-time Hall of Famer, actually, from what I've heard.
Yeah, he likes to be in the Hall of Fame every week. New episode of Friday Night Fight Night is coming out soon. Just a few technical difficulties, but we'll be on track this Friday, and we'll talk about it afterwards potentially as well. Let me get to some more people in the chat because I spammed. So an actual interview between the three of us would be an absolute blast. Yeah, I would definitely be up for that. You could message me on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021, and we could arrange a date. I'm here on Facebook at Tom Bryce, also YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. And yeah, I would love to talk after the show. And I'm a little busy right now, as you can see, with my hands to talk to you DM wise, but I would love to have a conversation. Absolutely. And yeah, we'll figure that out as well. But I have somebody here that wants to talk with you, and I have to bring them up. And would you like me to bring them onto the screen right now? Because this is going to be probably a little personal for you right now. Very personal.
Oh, okay.
You
yeah.
sure?
I'm
ready?
You
good? You good?
Yeah, I'm ready for sure.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa. I didn't expect that one.
Hi, son.
Hello, Mr.
Daddy G's here.
Hello, Mr. RT Jizzle. How we doing?
Doing pretty good, all the gold I have, and maybe next season. Maybe next season, maybe I might go after your inconsequential interpromotional title. I don't know.
He called it inconsequential. Inconsequential. It sounds like sequential math almost.
I'm going to say this right now. If there is one way you want to end your career faster, that would be a way to do it.
Well,
so you can go ahead and go after my inconsequential title and have an early retirement.
Well, he's actually.
I might just play it. Might just play it a different way, kind of like I did with Swift and the Continental title, where somebody not as good as the person that had it won it, and then I took it off of them. So, I mean, somebody might just take it off of you, and then I might just come along and take it off of them.
That may be the case. I really do not foresee that in my future anytime soon, because I am the greatest BYW interpromotional champion of all time. and that is hands down, without a debate. And I am also quite possibly the greatest asset that you have ever brought into your company.
Wow, that's some big words. I mean, it's like the old Comatose to me.
I will say, I mean, if we're gonna start talking crap, I can bring the old pipe bombs out and everything if I need to. But you know, I am in a very cheerful mood. But I will say this: there is some respect to be put on my name, RTG.
Oh, I will say this: it's pretty nice to see you in an actual room doing this, and not in some freaking dungeon.
There was one show you were here, and it was like the lights couldn't go on. It was like,
yeah, it was that was terrible. That house is 100 years old.
Well, at least this house is newer, right?
Yeah. Yes, this house is newer.
So what would you like to say, Mr. RTG? Obviously, you know, it's been an amazing journey these last few months for you, and you've obviously come here to say something to Mr. Comatose, as you called him. Are you still calling him Comatose, or
we'll see. We'll see. I guess tonight I called.
You're in a giving mood. You're in a holiday.
Yeah, I'm in a cheerful mood. You know, season's over. I don't got to get in his head anymore right now.
49ers got to win for a change. Feeling good right now. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's about time. They're getting their ass kicked every week.
Well, they lost a bunch of games. They should have won, but that's a different show for a different time. But
they should have lost today.
Well,
but you know, maybe in a few years.
I want to ask you something though, because we were watching back the match between your son RJS and Comatose, and there was a line there that I think it's interesting because Comatose has got this 3-year deal here in BTW, but yet after what I saw Comatose go through, he may never be the same afterwards. I mean, are you concerned at all that Comatose is not going to be able to live up to these standards? I mean, 3-year contract. See, it seems to be like a first in BYW history, and yet we saw what he went through with RJS, and I'm concerned that, well, he might not be able to live up to these standards.
Well, I will say, you know, I do what's best for business. We brought in other wrestlers, and you know, Frost came in for 2 years, Derek Destroyers for a couple years. The 3-year deal is the first one we've signed with somebody. So the fans really enjoyed Comatose. It was great having him here. He brought the product up with his matches against RJS, BES, and Swift.
Yep.
And even Frost when they had their big battle.
Some good matches.
The BCF 3.
And Comatose brought us to you. I mean, basically that's the way I remember it. And I mean, so Comatose was an integral part to us connecting, really.
Yeah, he was. I mean, without him coming here, without him coming on your show and promoting our shows every week and stuff like that, we never would have probably found Sportzwire because, you know, really RJS isn't a talker. So, you know, I don't know if he would have reached out to you. You would have reached out to him. You know,
yeah, I think we did follow each other on Instagram. I think we did, but we definitely didn't speak before. I think we did because of Navon McDonald. I know him a little bit. I don't know him a lot, but I've had like 1 or 2 conversations with him. But I think we followed each other. But it doesn't matter. We're here now, and you know, in 22 days. You know, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame once again, RTG, alongside Comatose.
I will say, with Comatose coming here, and you know, on the as he kind of put it, the trial basis, saying he wasn't under contract.
He didn't work for you guys. It was a bizarre situation. He was a champion without a contract, and he didn't work for the company. Wasn't a part of things here. It was just a rather interesting, rather bizarre dynamic, more or less.
So, I mean, to be fair to them, I've had a checkered past with BTW before this season. So there was definitely some growth period that needed.
Well, you were playing checkers, and RTG always plays chess.
I don't know if I was playing chess then or not, but
I'll check and look at the bingo card if that was the case.
Right. I do have to say this season is probably the season I started playing chess.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I got to ask you, though, especially you, Comatose. You know, we just went through a lot this season, right? I just watched a match that you and RJS had. And as a matter of fact, 2 matches you had that were really personal, really intense, and they took a lot out of you, no question about it. But we're going to do this all again next year. You have this 3-year contract. So, like, what will be next for you, Comatose? I mean, what is the future looking like for the GOAT of BYW?
What the future is looking like for the GOAT with BYW is absolute consistency within these next 3 years. And if fans get lucky, that may not only be in BYW, that may not only be in BTW. That may be in other states. Because I have, admittedly, had other companies talk to me about wanting to make an appearance, not sign, because I'm not signing to any other company. That there's no other company that's better than BTW. Period.
I would think that you got a 3-year contract. Yeah. You, Comatose, getting a 3-year deal.
I will say this. I will say that that people should come to BTW and sign to BTW. But I will also say it is a creative way to draw in the flies a little bit. You know, put a little honey.
I don't think so.
And, maybe give people a little bit of a taste of what BTW talent actually is, and then come get a full taste when you guys come down here and show your worth to us.
You know, it's funny you said that, because I would think, especially after what you guys have done, right? Pound for pound, some of the best talents in BYW, a company that has the numbers. You know, we know it. The 3,000 plus subscribers, shows get thousands in the views. We even have a loyal subscriber base that joins in and watches the extra stuff and everybody else before that. And we know the merchandise page gets a lot of interest and people buy shirts. I'm wearing one here. And I would think that maybe it's time that other people here maybe want to travel to Roseburg. You know, I always hear people talk about, I want to go to this place and I want to go to that place. But it seems like what I've learned the last, 5-6 months, right? We've been working together, is that BTW is one of those meat and potatoes, pound for pound, one of the best companies. I mean, you're a butcher after all. You appreciate that line. This Absolutely. Is one of the meat and potatoes, pound for pound, best companies. It's all killer, no filler here. So I would think maybe people might need to start evaluating, maybe coming to you guys if they really want to say they're the best, if they want to say that they can hang with the big boys. They want to go up there and say that, you know what? Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did that. I'm on this Mount Rushmore. I want to go here and I got to get this amount of championships and go beat this guy and face that guy. But you can't do any and say any of those things without maybe going through Roseburg, Oregon, a.k.a. BTW.
God's country.
You better believe it. I mean, listen, you better believe it. That's what
I think we have the best setting for any backyard trampoline wrestling.
You know what? I got to be honest. It might even be if any of wrestling. Seriously. Do you see pro wrestling companies wrestle in an environment that you guys have? I don't think so. I do a lot of British wrestling, which is close. It's close in the UK. There is 1 or 2 companies that are in like a small town that have had similar setups, but not quite to what you guys have. So maybe the best is yet to come, I would think then, right?
Oh, I would definitely say so.
Yeah, the best is yet to come. And I mean, it'll be exciting to see the season again, because I feel like it's all fresh and everything. Everything is just all fresh. And I have another surprise here. And you said a lot about this person, and they now want to say something to you. And I have no doubt that you might want to see fit if you want your apology, because he is here, the man that made you say, I quit. the one and only BTW television champion, Mr.
Honestly, this is who I thought was coming on first.
Yeah.
Well,
I sure to fake you guys out.
You just wait until what's coming. You just see, nobody knows what's coming next. You just wait.
Yeah. Somebody was playing chess to your checkers, Comatose.
Well, you wait till what comes on here, and you want to talk about chess playing checkers. Let's just say that I'm going to pull out my daddy Warbucks. Let's just put it that way, but we'll leave that at that. But Mr. RJS, you heard a lot from Mr. Comatose, and congratulations, by the way, on the big victory, big statement. Congratulations, champ. And what do you want to say about that, and what do you want to say to Mr. Comatose?
Well, I heard what he was saying earlier, and I agree. There's still more story to be told between me and Comatose.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I do not have to apologize to Comatose right now. I will at a later date. I promise, Comatose. I promise.
But RJS,
tonight,
you shook his hand. But you shook his hand. Wasn't that basically a suitable apology?
Take what he just said as his word right there, and I will leave it at that. If he says that he's going to do it later, I'm not going to argue with it. I said it one time, and he said he'll do it one time, and we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to build a whole field off of a whole nother spiel with you off of wanting an apology. At this point, it's just proving who's better between each other.
Okay, all right, I could go with that. I think that's a reasonable statement. I mean, for you, RJS, I mean, the match must have took a lot out of you. I mean, how do you, go and prepare for next season after going through what we just witnessed here?
Well, real time next season starts the 1st of January. So
I've heard.
Yes, and I still feel it on my neck. That that scorpion death drop onto the chair really fucked my
there was a few shots in that match that I would say both of you guys were like, how did these guys get up again? How did these guys get up?
I don't know. After a while, I kind of figured the same thing between us. At that point, I feel like both of us had just took all of our willpower.
Yeah.
Would you say it was adrenaline that fueled you guys?
What was that?
Would you say that it was adrenaline throughout the match that had you guys keep going?
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. I don't think I would have made it that long without it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys, and I asked this question to Comatose, and I'll ask you the same question, RJS. Was there ever any regrets on how personal the feud got?
No.
No?
No.
Because not like you are, RJS. Comatose, I get. I know his story. I know who he is. But it's unlike you.
It's not like me. Well, I had to say what I had to say to me. I had to stoop to his level because I had to show everyone.
Well, I will say this. The stuff that you said that really hurt me, that you were trying to stoop to my level with, didn't really help your case when you lost at War Games. That was the stuff that hurt me. The stuff that you were saying after, I saw coming, and I'm taking it on the chest. I had my chin out for that because of what happened after the War Games. I felt at the top of the world. And at that point, I've honestly, seeing what you've been going through for the past 2 years, I honestly didn't want to take it there.
You get one of these?
I didn't want to take it as far as we did the first time.
That's pretty good.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to find out here. But, gentlemen, I had been talking about that there was something that you guys don't even know about. A major thing, a major surprise, you might want to say. A major surprise. And if I could, I know that this is a BTW episode, and I know that we're obviously recapping this season, but I could potentially unveil my surprise in this individual who you guys have no idea. You have no idea what's in store. And I promise you, when I do this, it's going to really shake the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit up like probably never before. So only if you guys would allow me to, can I bring on the screen this individual.
Go ahead.
Bring him on.
I'm super down.
You super down? You sure?
Absolutely.
You sure?
Absolutely. I am 100% here for it.
Well, I'm going to do it right now because wait a minute.
Hi, guys.
What?
Man.
No. The PWF World Heavyweight Champion, Justin Parsley? You're a sinner. You're a sinner in Iowa. No. This is BTW show. This is Anthony Steele's not here tonight. What are you doing here? Anthony Steele was here yesterday.
I'm a sinner globally wherever I go, Tom. I just can't seem to do everything right, but I try every day. I wake up and I try again and I try again. Comatose, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, Justin. How about yourself, my friend?
What?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. I heard you call me your friend earlier, and I really appreciate that. Good looking out. RJS, how are you?
I'm doing really good tonight.
I feel like a congratulations is sort of in order, knowing what I know. Thomas, how are you?
Mr. Parsley, I'm doing great. I mean, but this isn't, Soldier GP, Omen Black. This is a small mom and pop. These are good, down-to-earth people here. They have, these aren't sinners. These aren't foundation members. These are 4 up, 4 down. What brings you here tonight?
I come in peace, Tom. You know that.
You sure this is peace?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I come in peace.
I would hope so, because this is, like I said, Anthony was here yesterday. He was here yesterday.
This seems like a wholesome family show, and I just wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to feel a part of this family. It's a beautiful thing you have here, Tom.
But I thought you have a family in Iowa with the Sinners. Don't you have a family there?
We have a few kinks in that family, and it's a little dysfunctional right now. But after we work out those kinks, we'll be back in order.
Second or third.
I'm not understanding.
I don't know if it has chocolate in it.
I own 1/3 of that, which is great. But this is BTW show.
Oh, there's that. That's for
BTW, by the way. Oh, that's not by
BTW. Did you get the memo? Like I said, Steele was here yesterday.
It's probably a generational gap thing. BTW was by the way back in my day. I'd have to T9 it. That's why these hands are.
It's Backyard's top wrestling company now.
Is that Oregon?
Yeah,
I've heard of them. I've seen some of what they do out there. The West Coast is beautiful, especially this time of the year.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure.
Well, Mulholland Drive, you know, right? Remember that?
It's a lot warmer than in Indiana or Iowa, I would imagine.
I would think so. It's heating up here on Sportzwire.
What is that about?
I mean, but so are you here to maybe exchange Christmas cards? What brings you here tonight? This is what I mean. You're the real GOAT. Comatose is the GOAT of BYW, though. You said that you're the real GOAT.
I come in peace. Yeah. Well, I mean, because I make reels. Like it's spelled REE. Yeah, the real GOAT. Like I'm the real greatest of all time creator.
Yes.
Of content. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
It's more than a gimmick, so that now it's built in. But I'm the PWF champion. Why wouldn't I be on your stream, Tom? Why wouldn't I be here? Why wouldn't I be here to celebrate? I love BTW. Why wouldn't I be here, Tom?
That's a great point. I mean, we love having you here. We certainly love having you here. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if you guys obviously, did you want to maybe talk? Maybe did you want to exchange phone numbers with RJS? Did you want to maybe, I don't know, talk to Comatose about who he's killed as a butcher? Did you want to maybe get advice from him on promos when you obviously have Anthony Steele get out of line or try to? Because I mean, you and Anthony Steele with Sinners. I mean, it must be very hard for you to get a word in when he's around, right? It must be very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can only imagine the car rides.
Well, I'm sure.
But no, don't do that on air, Justin. Okay.
No, we don't.
I came here to support backyard wrestling because I mean that's my roots. That's where I come from. I'm not some stuck up and arrogant asshole like I was perceived to be on XCW. The way they said that I became too big for XCW. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now, it's a shoot, Tom. Okay, they said I was too big for XCW and I cut out and I had bigger things to do. Okay, I'm not just some underground wannabe indie wrestler. Okay, I know where I come from and I'm here to support it. That's my roots. It's ingrained in me,
So that's great. I mean, I'm with you. Listen, I mean, it's great to have you as the PWF champion, and we're very proud to certainly have you representing the company. And I think it's great. You know, BTW.
Haven't you always liked how I was a traveling champion, Tom?
How
I've just been to the championship.
Here on sports. You know, you are a 7-time Hall of Famer. RTG is certainly, you know, getting closer to you. He's inching closer to you. But I mean,
we'll have to do 2 or 3 this upcoming month. Let's see.
Well, I mean,
see if you can pencil me in.
I suppose, but I mean, like, do you want to talk to the guys? I mean, because I mean, I've talked to you quite a bit the last few minutes, but you want to introduce yourself formally to them? Because RJS, I mean, this is a guy. By the way, I know you've wrestled Jack Delta. I know you've wrestled him, but he's defeated Jack Delta, by the way. Just so I know that might anger you a little bit. He's defeated Jack Delta. He's defeated him. And Comatose, you know, he's defeated a guy, Jacob Frost. I mean, some would even say that Comatose maybe ran him out of town in BTW. I mean, maybe. I don't know if that's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, you know, these are guys that, you know, they certainly, you know, again,
there's a lot of talent on this stream, is what you're telling me.
And RTG, by the way, this is a guy that every time he goes out there, he wins. He's supposed to have been retired, but he'll be going on for decades. I mean, listen, I mean, guys in Tennessee, Maryland, Wisconsin who tried to run, they got nothing on RTG. I mean, this guy's the general manager. He's the leader of the Northwest Society, and he's defeated both individuals here, and RJS is his son. I'm not going to poke that bear, but I mean, you know, this is certainly not when you're here trying to get a word in with Mr. Brightside or Anthony Steele. I mean, you know, Oregon's a different animal for you. It's a very different animal. Different.
Well, I mean, as a guy who, you know, whose career spanned across a couple of decades himself, Tom, RTG, it is nice to formally meet you. I think, do we have his attention, or how does this work?
Well, let me put him on. Let me take him off mute because he had some audio issues. But would you like to say something to Mr. RTG? Would you like? I think he left the stream. He's going to come back in. He's going to come back in.
Okay. All right. Well, whenever he gets back, then I guess I'll talk to him. Do you guys have anything for me? You know, I mean, I know this is your stream. This is your show. So I really want Comatose to be able to get what he needs to get off his chest. Say what he needs to say.
We got plenty off the chest tonight. The chat.
Yeah, but whenever I popped up,
the chat is perplexed, right?
Brewed anything inside, or there he is, RTG.
Sorry about that.
How are you, sir?
I was having some technical difficulties. I'm doing great. Night. Yeah, I think I got Steven Stump's Wi-Fi here, but
yeah, that'll.
It's nice to meet you, Justin.
It's nice to formally meet you too, sir. I appreciate you having me on your stream.
Not a problem. Anytime somebody is out there and as popular as you, if you know you want to come to BTW, you know, we'll hook you up. I do what's
Tom,
best
you've always
for business.
liked that I was a traveling champion. Tom.
Mr. Parsley, now, but I will say this to you, Mr. Parsley. Now, Oregon's different. It's different animal than where you're going in Iowa. These guys just go out there and wrestle. There's no BS here. There's no drama. Their mom and pop, their family here. I mean, there's no sinners here. There's no foundation, 4 up, 4 down. There's no nemesis here right now at the moment. There's no outsiders. It's a different company here. Are you sure that this would be something that, I mean, you would want to travel to if that's something you're interested in? I mean, we love all those places, but you're ingrained in those environments. This is an environment you're foreign to. You're a foreigner there.
Tom, let's face it. I'm a national commodity. Where I'm wanted and needed and called upon, I think I should go.
You think you should go?
I'm only getting older every day, so let's that
talk. May be so.
That may be so.
I mean, I think that if that's something you want to do, Mr. Parsley, if you'd like to go there, I would certainly, you know, and I think I'd speak on behalf of most of the people here in the chat and everybody who will watch this clip later on social media. I would love to see that. I mean, I would love to see you wrestle against some of these individuals. I mean, if that's something your heart desires.
I think we need that to happen.
My heart desires it, Tom.
Mr. Justin.
I think that the West Coast is calling my name, Tom.
Calling your name? Yeah. Calling it? Is it saying that Justin Parsley, the first wrestler?
The stocks are on for a reason.
I know they're.
I think RTG is trying to figure out.
Whatever.
I think that you would be one hell of a commodity to the West Coast, and I feel like you would be one hell of a commodity to BTW. And the kingdom is always welcoming more royalty.
Well, it would be an honor. So, if we can play all of our cards right and everything seems to line up perfectly, what season are we coming up on?
7.
Season 7. 7? That's the number of deadly sins. That's bizarre. But here we are. 2025, right? Here's to 2025.
Here's to 2025. Absolutely.
Here's to 2025.
So let me get this straight before we move on here. Justin Parsley, the PWF champion, the first real wrestler, 7 times in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. You want to come, you say, to Oregon, January 2025?
Oregon wants me to come to it. I've already came, Tom. You know that.
We'll have to find out. But it sounds to me like a door has been open without nobody entering or leaving, and maybe that door is open and we didn't even know it. It sounds to me like the possibilities of, if I could for a minute, Comatose versus Justin Parsley, the GOAT of BYW against the real GOAT, or what about RJS? The man that's defeated Jack Delta when Justin Parsley couldn't get the job done? What about that matchup? What about Swift? He might be pound for pound physically the strongest in the yard. Can Justin Parsley handle that? What about Justin Parsley versus, I don't know, Blackout? Champion versus champion? Comatose and RJS couldn't climb that mountain. What about even, I don't know, RTG, 3-time Hall of Famer, and Justin Parsley, champion versus champion? What about a Storm and a Parsley? Steven Storm and a Justin Parsley? There's so many possibilities that if you want it, and you want it that bad, well, maybe you'll get it. Maybe you'll get it real soon. Maybe you'll get it quicker than a New York Minute, and it might be happening right now in front of you, because it sounds to me like I might be seeing history in a door being opened between Roseburg, Oregon, and, well, wherever Justin Parsley is in the Midwest these days. Maybe we can spin a track or two like they do at Kendall's, and maybe play this. Play this, because you know what? This will be the tune of 2025. Comatose versus Justin Parsley, the BYW Interpromotional Champion against the PWF World Champion Justin Parsley. How about RJS, the man that's defeated Jack Delta, and Justin Parsley, the man that couldn't get the job done against him? What about RTG, 3-time Hall of Famer, BTW GM? Who reigns supreme? How about Swift? But how about even the one that a lot of people would put a lot of money on? Justin Parsley, you once upon a time were from Hollywood, right? Remember, you were from Hollywood? You were from good old Hollywood, USA there. Well, you ain't from Hollywood until you've met the coolest guy in the yard, BES. I don't think you've seen a spot flyer like him, and boy, that might be a sin or two that, let's just say, if you watch that match, it might be 7, 8, and even 9 deadly sins. We might be wondering, how many lives does a cat have between a Parsley and a BES? There's endless opportunities, endless possibilities, but it sounds like to me that maybe a door has been open and we didn't even know it. Maybe we didn't even know it, Mr. Parsley.
Well, I think we're all well aware now.
Are we? Or we didn't even know what's coming, and somebody
open the book and we're all on the same page. How about that?
Maybe, Mr. Parsley, RTG, you always talk about that you're playing chess rather than checkers. But this guy, Justin Parsley,
seems like Justin's trying to outmove the chess master here.
Well, it sounds to me like Mr. Parsley's got the ultimate move, and it could be, let's say, king, queen, game, set, match. Justin Parsley coming to Oregon, God's country. I mean, Mr. Parsley is definitely a believer in God. If that's
maybe he just wants to join a real faction like the Northwest Society.
Maybe
I'm just throwing it out there. If you want to join, you want to become part of the society.
Probably get a word in there because Anthony Steele. I mean, like I said, we know you can't get many words in that group in the centers.
We have
I just like the fact I'm being offered protection in my travels.
We have all the gold other than the inconsequential BYW Interpromotional Championship. I mean, you could go after that, beat up Comatose up there, or you could go after my long-haired girl son over in the other corner and take the TV championship.
It's getting real.
Sounds like the possibilities are endless. I like it like that.
Oh, they are.
Well, you know what? If you want to follow BTW and you haven't got a chance to right now,
I'm
putting their link up. I got a lot of people here right now.
Can bring for sure, and absolutely, I need more people in line for the Interpromotional Championships. The only reason it's here is to have blockbuster matches like that, and I have a lot to prove. And who's a bigger name than Justin Parsley to prove that I am actually the GOAT of backyard wrestling?
I can't think of anybody, Tom. Can you?
Right now, I'm looking at match possibilities that for 2025 would certainly be dream scenarios. Match of the year candidates. Match of the decade candidates. RJS. The man, as I stated, has done it all. 9 years he's been in our circuit. He's even traveled to my home state. A man that has traveled, and nobody can say they've walked in his shoes until they go up against him in the ring. Comatose, the man who wants to be the GOAT of BYW. Backyard wrestling royalty, a man that held 3 championships at one time just a few short months ago. Justin Parsley taking on both men, and these are matches that 45 minutes ago, even 25 minutes ago, I would have said, no way, that would happen, never happen, because that would just, no chance in hell. There'd be no chance in hell. BTW's doors wouldn't be open to guys like Justin Parsley. Forget about it. BTW? Nah. BTW's doors 25 minutes ago, I would have said no freaking way. Justin Parsley here after what they said about him in the Midwest? No, not, especially in Indiana, especially that place that I don't even know who they are in yesterday's news. But Justin Parsley here, I mean, certainly in Iowa, you've got your hands full with Soldier GP, and you got your hands full with Anthony Steele, and obviously we'll see what your future is there in the IMF. But I mean, we love our friends there, but to be here in Oregon,
my hands are full of making a name for myself at this point, Tom, and it just won't stop. It's like a snowball effect. But I guess fate wouldn't have it any other way.
Now,
on a glorious night like tonight.
Now it is a. Now, I know that this is certainly one for the ages here, and this was completely unexpected. But do you need to maybe, because, you know, BTW's got on their Instagram page where you have to DM them and send in your information. Do you think that for you, Mr. RTG, that Mr. Parsley needs to send his resume or, you know, send an application to you guys? Or maybe he can go straight through with a little help, wink and a nod of somebody to come to Roseburg, Oregon. You think that that's a possibility, or maybe he has to go to the back of the line like everybody else and fill out an application and wait for your response 3 weeks from now?
Well, I would have to say that based on everything that I've seen and heard about Mr. Parsley, that he is probably one of the biggest names that could come to our company. So you don't have to go to the end of the line. You want to come show up January 1st.
Wait a minute. January 1st.
We're talking dates.
January 1st. That's
January 8th, whatever it is. RJS handles that stuff. I don't.
That's 2025. That's 24 days from now. Justin Parsley, I just thought maybe you were here to congratulate Comatose and RJS, congratulate BTW and joining you in the Hall of Fame again. But apparently it seems like now you're apparently invited to Roseburg, Oregon on January 1st. And you might be getting your wish after all, because Comatose is here, RJS is here, and you might want to get used to knowing these guys, because you could maybe if all things go to fruition, be in a ring with them?
That sounds like home, Tom.
That's real. That's real.
That's real.
That's a real one.
That's the only way you do it here, though. The only way you do it here on Sportswire.
Oh, it's real. This is real. This is real. And, Mr. RTG, may I ask, are you taking applications from other people or other people?
Oh, we are open for business to whoever wants to come. From what I understand, we have some fillers, from some other big names that are out there, but I'm not going to say they're coming because
don't say them here.
You never know if it'll fall through or not.
No.
We've had some people that said they were going to come and they've already bowed out. So
this guy,
I'm not going to.
I'm going to tell you something. I know this guy, Justin Parsley. I've known him for a long time, and this guy, he's going to come. He's going to definitely come. He's going to travel. He's going to travel a long way to you, regardless of what happens to him in Palo, Iowa, in the Palo Community Center. He is most certainly going to travel to you, and he's going to really give you some, really good matches and really great matches. He's going to really give you some Hall of Fame-like matches. And spoiler alert, he's going to definitely pay to some of those people the 7 deadly sins that he talks about all the time, and it's going to definitely get real here. And I'm getting a whole bunch of comments here. And apparently some guy, Aaron Blaze, has walked in here. Maybe Justin isn't the only one wanting to make a real headline. Aaron Blaze, he don't work for you guys. He don't work for you guys.
Like I said, we have fillers out for anybody that wants to come.
He's the newest signee of ROEW. He's saying now that he wants to travel.
All you got to do is either come on Sportswire like Justin here and put it out there, or go to our Instagram page and let RJS know that you want to come.
Mr. Shelby, I'll give you you got 2 minutes to make your case. You want to come on? You want to sign or get a tryout? Whatever. I don't even know what the terms are. It's your lucky day. I'm in the holiday spirit right now. If you think you can come from ROEW to BTW, you better be prepared.
Like this guy?
Yeah. Because I hope that you guys know what you're getting into. Especially Kyle Shelby. I just
want to say, Justin, with the Hollywood look there, I can't wait to see the reels that will be coming out on Instagram.
And TikTok, by the way.
Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Yep.
Massive on TikTok. And you know what? If you're here for the first time, you're hearing about BTW, I'm putting in BTW's YouTube link in the description. Do me a favor. Hit the sub button, because I know this might be your first time hearing about them. Follow BTW. I'm going to visually put up their link, because I'm not walking away tonight without doing that. That's BTW's YouTube channel. Do me a favor. Go out there. Hit us up. I'm going to make your life even easier right now. And I don't even have to do it, but when I'm in the Christmas spirit, I'm going to put up BTW's Instagram page. Because if you want to think like Justin Parsley and you want to go out and maybe test your skills and put in an application, I want you to go get in touch with BTW. I want you to talk to whoever it may be, and that's their page right now. That's their page. Go out there and get it. You want to make a name for yourself? You think you can hang with the best like Comatose, RJS, Blackout, Swift, BES, RTG, Gabriel James, Rick Manson, the BCF3? You think you want to be like Justin Parsley? Go give him a follow and DM him. But apparently, somebody else wants to have their say and say they want to travel. And I'm going to give them that opportunity. I'm generous. The newest signee of ROEW, Kyle Shelby. You can hang?
Yeah.
You can hang?
Can I hang? Can I hang?
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy. You're talking to a guy who works at this every waking moment. Can I hang?
Well, you better every waking moment find a ticket to come to Oregon. You better find that.
We got it.
And I don't think Justin Parsley is traveling with you. You guys are enemies, I think, right?
That guy over there, he's the one that met me like 9.5 years after he won a championship and then started bragging about how he was a 9.5 year champion.
Well, if I met you 8 years ago, it would have been an 8-year champion. If I met you 7 years, you see how math works? I'm just a logical person.
You just haven't stepped in a ring with me yet, and that's why you're a 9.5 year champion.
I got an idea. Kyle Shelby, right? You're the UCA champion, right? You've been the UCA champion for 9.5 years, and you say that you want to travel, right? You say you want to travel. Comatose,
I'll fly there.
Well, you know what? Comatose, right? You're the BYW interpromotional champion, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, how about this? Spoiler alert. UCA champion versus BYW interpromotional champion. BTW next season. How does that sound? Headline.
I think all of this is giving me an appetite like no other, and I am very excited to be able to actually prove myself against you guys and just show you guys why I'm the Backyard Wrestling Interpromotional Champion and why you guys are coming for me.
They're coming for you.
I am the guy that is going to show every single one of you in here next season why that I'm the guy that has brought this federation so high into the atmosphere. I am going to show you all very, very soon, especially you, Justin Parsley. I am very excited. I'm almost speechless. My head is buzzing right now.
You want to break the internet even further?
Bring him in.
You want to break the internet even further?
What do you
bring him in? Bring it. Do it right now. Let's do it. Yeah.
I know who this.
Bring him in.
You sure?
We got.
If it's who I think it is,
right
yeah.
Now. I'm going to tell you something
you
right
think,
now.
well, you know what? Today, I'm in the Christmas giving spirit mood. I'm in the mood, the holiday spirit. Because what I do this, I mean, there's no going back here. There's no if I do this, there's no going back. That means this is going to be like. This will very well change the backyard wrestling circuit as we know it. You know, people have been waiting for a Sportswire moment. Last night, they got it a little bit. They got the moment with the promo wrestling and Mr. Brightside and Anthony Steele. They got a moment that they're going to go home with. No, it was a moment. No. It was a moment. Promo wrestling, doors were opened. They got a moment. But tonight is going to be one of those that people are going to remember. They're going to remember this 6 months from now, 9 months from now. I promise you that. 12 months from now, 6 years from now, even. And
20 years.
Well, you know what? Your wish is my command because apparently, wait a minute. No! It's Aaron Blaze! Aaron Blaze! No! It's Aaron Blaze! The headline! We got a real one. We got a headline. We got a UCA Duke of Detroit. And they all want to come to you guys. Think about this. What was it weeks ago? BTW. Some guy on Instagram. Oh, they're trampolines. Making fun of them on Instagram stories. Now, I got 3 guys here that all of a sudden want to show up to Oregon? What's going on here?
I've always wanted to see Portland.
Oh, my God.
Little parched here. Gentlemen, we cannot talk about business without one of the best and youngest in the business. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
I don't know, but how about this? Wait a minute. I got an idea. Aaron Blaze, you're on a stream, right? You're here right now live, right? And you are obviously the traveling Willowberry. You've traveled. You've been to different places. You and Justin Parsley, once upon a time, worked in a promotion. In fact, you still work in one promotion in Michigan, ROEW, right?
Correct. I mean, if you can call the other place a promotion, but go on.
Well, ROEW is a promotion I'm very proud to call a friend, and I see a lot of ROEW brethren here. And I don't know what the future is in ROEW between 2 of you gentlemen, but if you gentlemen that badly want to go to Oregon, I mean, if I'm the matchmaker, if I'm the guy, I know nothing about this stuff. I know very little about wrestling. You know, I don't know anything about anything. I don't even know spots, moves, whatever it is. But if I was a businessman, if I was a promoter, I see it right now. The Trailblazer, the headline, the Trailblazing Traveler against Justin Parsley, the PWF champion. I mean, in Oregon. You want to talk about the match we were supposed to get in Michigan that we still haven't got? And how about Aaron Blaze and RJS? How about Aaron Blaze and Comatose? Kyle Shelby? Who knows? I mean, it writes itself.
Aaron Blaze and Justin Parsley is bound to happen. I've been wondering, where that would be.
Or maybe
when
Aaron
that
Blaze,
would be.
Are you here
And
to
how
put
it
in
would
your
happen.
application? Are you here to maybe send a DM, or are you here for what?
Well, BTW management already has my contact info.
Oh,
Let's
they
just
do.
say
They
that.
do.
They do. Funny how you mentioned all those names about possible matches. Yet as soon as you said RJS, he kind of just disappeared there for a second. I'm
Well, he's
wondering
got
what that's
technical
about.
difficulties. Give him a pass.
All right. I'll give him a pass.
Yeah, Steven Stump's Wi-Fi runs throughout the house, so.
Well, I'm back.
Yeah, I told you.
There he is.
Where did you go?
Bro, you got that not personal. That where did you go was personal. Bro,
Because that's what we do.
You were
we
like
get
this. You were
personal.
like, where did you go?
Well, the door is open. It
Open
seems
it.
like that Aaron Blaze and RJS, Aaron Blaze and Comatose, Aaron Blaze and BES, Aaron Blaze and Swift, Aaron Blaze and RTG even, Aaron Blaze and Kyle Shelby. And how about Aaron Blaze and Justin Parsley? A match that the world has
headline.
really been waiting for really a long time.
Yeah. But no, this would be interesting, simply because not just the me and Justin piece, but like one Delta I saw in the chat earlier, I grew up watching the guy right next to him there, and he won a white internet strap that I wish I could have carried, so there's another story to tell with that. But yeah, the possibilities are almost endless, but they all end with me getting my hand raised, so that's a whole other beast.
So I guess we'll have to say stay tuned, huh? Stay tuned to January.
Stay tuned.
Well, I would like to say that if you do come in January for the taping, that your hand will be raised in all those matches except for one. If you take me on, you'll be put in the ground, boy.
I thought he was guessing.
I'm not being retired anytime soon.
The cat wants to wrestle. The cat could be a part of the roster now.
I'll take
Bro,
the
I
cat.
could get my 2 cats. They'll probably want to jump with me.
So it means. So what I learned tonight is that I got 3 people here who seem like they're eager to travel. 3 people who really want to test their skills to see if they're really the best. And that stop includes the first stop of 2025, and that's in Roseburg, Oregon. Is that what I learned tonight? That BTW now is the new horizon, the Great West. We think about the West. We think about expansion in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, and the new frontier. It seems to include BTW. And these guys here now, they all want to go and come and play where the big boys play, the very best play, it seems. And that's what I learned. And there's even a guy here in the chat that said maybe 4. Who knows? Who knows? A man that knows RJS real well. He knows him real well.
Oh my God.
These are guys that really want to travel. They really want to test their skills in Roseburg, Oregon. And maybe we'll have to find out one of these days. Maybe 2025, our New Year's resolutions have come 24 days early. In that Kyle Shelby, the 9.5-year Universal Champions of Action champion, wants to show his own action, his day of action, maybe his month of action, maybe his year of action in a BTW ring. Aaron Blaze, the headline this. Aaron Blaze, one of the greatest travelers of this generation, wants to show up to one company he hasn't shown up to yet, and then a man that is a real one, the first real wrestler, 7 times in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and the reigning defending PWF World Heavyweight Champion, Justin Parsley, wants to show up of all places to Roseburg, Oregon. Something tells me here, ladies and gentlemen, the best is definitely yet to come. And it could be a spoiler alert. Something tells me that one of these three guys, or maybe three of these guys, are going to show up. And they're going to test their skills against the very best that are now going to get their abilities to be out there in prime time, the brightest lights on the biggest stage. And it's going to get real. It's going to get real soon. Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody else want to say anything here on this moment we're all going to remember for, I would say, for a lifetime? It's going to be one of those moments in BYW in Sportswire history.
I do want to say something. Comatose,
you can say anything you want.
Because I wanted to come up and congratulate you for being the first year signed.
Thank you.
And I acknowledge that you want to be like the outside, the number one fighter for.
I absolutely, without a doubt, am going to follow through with everything that I'm going to do for you guys, and I thank you guys for welcoming me in with open arms, for sure. And it has been one hell of a season, and I cannot wait to continue for 3 more seasons, especially with the possibility of facing GOATs like these guys, Justin Parsley, Aaron Blaze, Kyle Shelby. Could this be what season 7 looks like for BTW, including a man like Jack Delta who says that he may come? Honestly,
he may.
I want people to ask themselves
Justin.
if all of these people show up under one setting, what backyard, underground, or pro wrestling federation has anything on this company?
Or midget wrestling.
Or midget wrestling.
Hey, we shouldn't talk about Dominic like that when he's not here.
Hey, he's here at Sportswire, but very soon. I'm going to leave my YBW champion alone. But I agree with Steven Storm. A whole lot of talent and heavy hitters on this show. A whole lot of potential challenges. Yeah, that's on my roster. If I could find the time when I get to Michigan, find some time between work and all, I may make that 37-hour drive. Jack Delta, does it get under my skin a bit that RJS beat me all those years ago? Comatose did talk a lot of stuff. RTG is pretty ugly, and that's worse than the other two, maybe. Who knows? I'm not coming for you, Delta. I already came. Justin Parsley. Remember, RJS got that win over Jack Delta. Justin Parsley does it.
But Delta remembers.
Well, he does. Oh, he definitely remembers. Your match.
Hey, I came closer than all of
your match was 4 months ago, though.
I come on. Never mind.
Does anybody else want to say anything else before we sign off?
To 2025.
Any one of you jabronis want a piece of this right here? You want this gold over my shoulder? This UCA World Heavyweight Championship, just let me know. I will whoop your ass.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
The challenge.
I am so interested in your AEW title with a sticker on it.
I don't know what AEW is. I only know what NWA is and AWA. I don't watch anything else.
Okay.
And
well, I'll leave the AEW talk out of it. Anybody else like to say anything else?
Justin Parsley needs to shave his mustache.
2025. Shut up, Justin. 2025 is Aaron Blaze's year. And Tom, when you have me on next, I'm going to give a little sneak peek as to let's just say in regards to signing, let's just say I'm going to dominate in 2025.
Well, you know what, Mr. Parsley? That actually, if I could for a minute give a plug, if you don't mind, because I obviously granted you the floor, because these are the 3 names that seem the most, let's just say, really interested in traveling to Roseburg, Oregon. Mr. Blaze, you're going to be here Tuesday night, and I welcome
to
the floor any of these individuals that want to maybe give you a receipt back, and maybe they want to declare if they want to wrestle you and anywhere. And I'm leaving the floor open to any of these individuals if they want to pay the receipt back, since you came on to them and you piggybacked off this, that if you want that, You want to return the favor to Aaron Blaze? He's here Tuesday night, 9:00 Eastern time. He's really going to be here live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. So you want to really return a favor? You really want your match? Or you want to declare maybe don't travel with me to Oregon? Well, Tuesday he's here. Aaron Blaze. Headline. Yes, prime time Sportzwire Radio. The only
you came on to us, and now we're gonna come on to you.
That's right.
That's what's up.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, all of us.
All of you ain't doing nothing. You're here. Does anybody else want to say anything else before we certainly end this historic show here tonight?
I just want to say that 2025 season 7 BTW is looking like it's going to be the best season ever. And if all you guys do come, great. If you
way too much
can't make it this time, come at a different taping or a different season.
You better come.
I'm going to come. Now, that could mean a lot of things, but you know what? You came on to us, and now we're going to come on to you.
And I'm going to let y'all know something right now. It's not November anymore. So definitely.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I want to say I got the last word. I'll tell you what I learned.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, right, everybody talks about in wrestling history, the NWO and how they invaded.
That just came from
WCW, right? You had all these different guys, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan, Ted DiBiase, right? Six-Pac. You just go down the list, right? But you know what I learned tonight in Backyard and Underground Wrestling? We had our own NWO moment. And that moment was December 8th, 2024 on Sportswire Radio. You're going to remember when the names of Justin Parsley, Aaron Blaze, and Kyle Shelby came to look to invade Roseburg, Oregon, and BTW. Has a new frontier opened? Has a new world order come? Could our own version of Hall, Nash, and Hogan be Parsley, Blaze, and Shelby? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Because it looks like the dawn of a new world order in Backyard and Underground Wrestling has now come, and we didn't even see it coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to remember this one for a real long time. Until then, BTW. One more time, you have not yet subbed. It's BTW8136 on YouTube, Instagram. Go out there, go hit a sub, follow them, and trust me, you won't be disappointed. The best is yet to come. And Aaron Blaze, you're here Tuesday, and expect that, you know what? You're going to be invaded on with some of these individuals, and maybe even all of them. And Mr. Delta, we learned under the brightest lights and the biggest stage, people are going to come. Yeah, well, you know what?
I need a cigarette.
They're coming.
I'm exhausted.
Well, thank you, everybody. Wait a minute. Jacob Frost, a warning, no matter what you think, your A game is against the BTW wrestlers. You need to bring a better one. Amen. Amen. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, I'll be here tomorrow with Draven Sulis of FBW, but Tuesday night's the big one. Tuesday night, Aaron Blaze, where we'll continue this conversation of a new world order coming to the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit here. Will the NWO take on the NWS? Who knows? Let's not go there. But until then, thank you, everybody. Go follow BTW. Go follow everybody else out there in the chat. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. All on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling